The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with your mental health professional. Hey, family. Welcome back to another episode of The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Hey, family. Oh my goodness, family. This is the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast. 1 year, y'all. This is the 52nd episode. Hey, turn up. I'm turning up, twerking. Woo! Because it might seem like it's easy. I don't know, like if y'all are listening or if you're watching, this might seem like this is easy to do, but it's really not. This has been a challenge for me. Now, sitting down talking to you, my family, that's not a challenge for me. I love it. I could actually do it in my sleep. However, all of the technical stuff in the background, that stuff is a freaking challenge. But guess what? Your girl, I was up to the challenge because I committed. I said, let me try this thing. I'm going to do it every week, once a week, the same day for 1 year. And then I want to see what feedback I get, if it's even worth it, if it even makes sense to keep doing it. And so guess what, family? I'm here. I am here. And that I went through many transitions to get here. But with I just kind of kept going with perseverance and help from my friends. And one of them would be Dr. Creative. Y'all remember my friend Dr. Creative that I met at the Sherry Show a little over a year ago. He's so creative, like production, that's his thing, video. And I just had to let go of me trying to control everything, thinking I had to pay everybody to do everything, as these weeks went on. And I started to listen to my brother, and he taught me how to do these things myself. So, hey, shout out my brother. I love you. But this is what got us to 52 weeks. Okay, y'all. But this is what I need you to do. So if you haven't been with us for the 52 weeks and you just stopping by now for the first time, please click that little red subscribe button, the notification bell. I want you to subscribe to the podcast. You're going to click the bell so that you get notifications, because life gets busy. So at least if you drive in or wherever you are and it's Tuesday, it's going to give you a notification when a new show is up. You might be shopping in the supermarket over the weekend, and all of a sudden, or in the evening on Tuesday, or maybe having lunch at your job, or maybe driving, you get the notification, oh shoot, this Andrea in the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast. What are we talking about this week? Because we talk about everything mental health, because mental health is everything. It is a part of your entire lifestyle. Mental health is your lifestyle. It should be your lifestyle, because it's all about just keeping your mind healthy and strong. That's it. So make sure you click that little bell, and please share it. Share this, especially if there's an episode that you may have learned something or been enlightened with something, and you want to share it because somebody else may be going through that, or maybe experiencing that, or maybe they may be a perpetrator of something that I done talked about, and you might want to, just kind of nudge them in a little way. So you can just send it. So, I just want to say thank you all for listening. I'm kissing you, because I could not and would not be here if nobody was listening. Okay. All right. And so, the 52 weeks, I just didn't even know what I was going to talk about. I was like, okay, this is my anniversary, so I can do a rewind and I could talk about some of my favorite episodes, some episodes that I really had fun with. Episodes I had fun with would be the episodes that I had with Dr. Creative. So when we first started the podcast, I did not want this to be like a melancholy podcast because that is not who I am. Okay. I am a girl about the town, about moving, about dancing, about being loud, about, I like to spread my energy. I like to empower others. And so I am just not humdrum. Let me teach you. Let me teach you. Let me teach you. That ain't it. Cause I wouldn't listen to that myself. So I really wanted to approach this through my lifestyle because I live a mentally healthy lifestyle and I am proactive with making sure that I keep my mind healthy and strong. So you do not have to be ill or have an illness to be a part of our family. This is just about us keeping our minds healthy and strong. And if you do have a mental illness or ill in certain way, you definitely, I want you to be a part of this podcast of our family so that I can help you. I'll give you some tips, honey, and some tricks to keeping your mind healthy and strong. But this is a lifestyle, baby. This is a lifestyle. This is a life's walk. Okay. We talk about everything. We are really getting ready to talk about some more things. I'm going to expand in a different way. I'm going to bring one of my best friends on, and we're going to do a segment, and it's on one of those love shows because she loves one of those love shows. So we're going to kind of talk about, I don't know, girl, is it Love Island? Is it Love at the Supermarket? Is it Love Blind, Loveless, Loveless, Blindless? I don't know what it is, but she loves those shows. And she could talk about them from the rooter to the tutor, and some of those things, I clinically speaking, I may take a little issue with some of those shows, or even believing that you can find love blindly, or love after lockup, whatever. However, one of my best friends, her name is Celeste. I don't even know if she believes it, but I know she loves those shows. So we're going to do a segment where we kind of talk about and recap some of those shows. And I'm going to give my clinical impressions, okay, on the women or the men. And I'm going to predict whether they're going to be together or whether they're not going to be together, or whether their behavior was healthy or not. So that's going to be fun. We're going to go and we're going to do that. That's going to be one of the branches of the podcast. And then, as I was saying, I had fun in the beginning of the podcast when I used to podcast with Dr. Creative because he's hilarious. And we would read listeners' letters and we would give our advice. So, of course, my advice is from my standpoint, which is still clinical, because that's just who I am. It really is. Once you become trained, you start thinking in a certain way, and it's just who I am. It's not who I pretend to be. It's literally who I am. And then Dr. Creative is very opinionated, and then he's so funny, and he's so real, and he's so honest. So that's really fun. So if you weren't following us, let's just say, I don't know, in the early parts of the podcast, you can go back and you can listen to some of those because they are fun. We answered, the questions, and they're fun. And then there's another part of this podcast that I am really extremely proud of. I am proud of my 6-week. It was a 6-week kind of class or sessions that I did with Stephen James Dixon. He is a relationship coach, and he is freaking excellent. So we did this 6-week series for men, and it was really to help men find themselves, to help men find love, to help men heal. Because Stephen wrote this book, and that was a great interview. He wrote this book stating, men don't heal, we hoe. And it's so good. Like, you can literally find that series on YouTube. So I called him in, I interviewed him. And then after I interviewed him, I was just like, yo, this brother, he is smart. He is sharp, you know? Yeah, he was even challenging some of my thoughts from a male perspective. So I asked him to partner with me to do this 6-week series for our men out here in this world. And so we did that. And I promise y'all, I truly do believe I'm going to receive an Emmy or one of those awards for that, because I think that work was Emmy award winning work. Like, we really did some great work. So, okay, you can go back and look at that 6-week series because it was amazing, and I'm so proud of it. I'm really proud of that work. You know how you could do stuff in life, and sometimes you'd be like, now why did I do that? Now why? Why? Andrea, did I do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm a little ashamed, uh, about why I even did it. Feel a little silly, But no, I am telling y'all that 6-week session, that thing that we did, I think it is freaking A1. A1 plus 1111. So yeah, if you have men in your life and you want to encourage them to evolve, please listen to those podcasts and send them over. Okay. Even there may just be, even if you may be suffering from ADD like most of us in this world today with all this technology, and you can't do the whole 6 series. Choose one, okay? Listen to it or watch it. Listen and watch it, and then share it with a man in your life or a man that you know, okay? Very, very good work. Then let me tell you another thing that was impactful this year. Oh my gosh, on this podcast. These are special moments for me. Was when I had my godson on and he wanted to tell his story. His story is freaking amazing. And so yeah, the title of that podcast is part 1 and the part 2, and it was I didn't think that this could happen to me. Ooh, I didn't think that this could happen to me. It's part 1 and a part 2, 2-part series. It was a freaking amazing. I'm obsessed with it because I have a personal relationship with him because he is my godson, but he's also an amazing young man. He's 32 years old. He's a father of a 3-year-old, and he's has a wife. He's newly married. But you have to see how his life has changed horrifically. Okay? Horrifically. But it's amazing. You have to go and watch that one. Watch and listen to it. Okay? All right. So that was another one that I had, that I loved, that I think was really impactful, and I'm very, very, very proud of. And I will say, of course, I did little teaching ones, where I kind of try to inspire you in one way or another, just in my way, just in the way that Andrea does. And so I kind of gave y'all some stories of some life-changing things for me. Just giving you some examples of how I've persevered in the past, how I've overcome certain things, certain challenges in my life. And so just giving you some inspiration there, inspiring you in those ways. So those are good too. And you can find those. You may learn also about mental illness. I did one on mental illness. You may learn about anxiety disorders. I did one on anxiety disorder. I think also depression or sad seasonal affective disorder. So you have all those things, within, the whole my little podcast sphere. The mental health is a lifestyle, right? This is a lifestyle. So, you'll find those things too in the lineup. If you were to scroll back, honey, over the 52 weeks, I can't believe it's at 52 weeks. And so I want to tell you another one, and this is going to be the other one that I thought this episode was it was delicious to me, honey. And it was with the sex doctor, baby, Dr. Tangi. Dr. Tangi, I am going to have her back. And you know what I might do with Dr. Tangi? I may have some other women on here. Now, I don't know if the women would be open to coming on and really asking the real questions. Um, that it just hit me that not only do I want to have Dr. Tangi, and I'm gonna come back to finishing my thought, but I want to have Dr. Tangi back. She is the sex doctor RX on Instagram. And when I tell you, she answers all questions sex, baby. And if you have any questions or any thoughts about sex, and maybe you might be afraid to even approach her, because you can actually make an appointment with Dr. Tangi. You can do that. And you could find that have that information, her information in under the podcast that we did. So we did a 2-part series also. We did a 2-part series with Dr. Tangi and myself. And we just asked, I actually asked my family, I asked y'all questions. Y'all sent me questions and I asked her all the questions. And when I tell you, she answered all of them thoroughly. You go to the doctor, whether it's a man or a woman, and they check you out thoroughly. That's what Dr. Tangi does. Okay, she will answer your questions thoroughly. I got so much positive feedback from those 2 episodes. Women really, really loved them. I don't know if men love them that much. I don't even know. You know what? Honestly, I don't think I even heard back from one man. However, during the man series, because I'm talking about this because I definitely am going to have Steven back. I'm going to have my brother Steven back because he gets it together and I love it. Like he's so great with relationships, and I think he and I do great work together. So I'm going to have him back. But I was thinking I should also have men in here or men on the screen while I'm with Steven, and then we can answer their questions. I think I'm going to do that. So I know I just have to reach out to Steven and he'll tell me and he'll be like, we can do that. I think he will. I hope he will. So anyway, okay. So that brings us up to now at 52 weeks. But let me just say this to y'all. I am so happy that y'all are here with me. I am so proud of the work that I have been doing here on this podcast. And I'm proud that you guys are here with me, supporting me, listening to me. I'm so proud. So I need to say that first and say how excited I am. But let me just say this, my family. Today I must talk about, so this is a rewind, but not a rewind. I had put up an episode where I explained narcissism because everybody was walking around calling this person and that person anybody I date because he won't call me back or he'll ghost me, or because, we get into an argument and he doesn't see my side. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. So I thought it was important to actually do an episode where I taught you what narcissism is and what narcissistic personality disorder is. It is on a spectrum, and many people have narcissistic traits. But just because you have narcissistic traits does not mean that you have the personality disorder. You're diagnosed with a personality disorder of NPD, so narcissistic personality disorder. So we want to look at traits on a spectrum. And let's just say right here on this side of the spectrum, this is high. So we'll start here at 0 with traits. You got 1 trait. You got 2 traits. You know what I'm saying? Now you all the way up here, okay? So like all the traits, you, honey, most likely going to be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Well, the reason why I'm bringing that back up is because I want to talk about Diddy. I want to talk about Diddy and Cassie. You know what? Here, I'll play this for you so you can understand what her allegations were and what she sued him for civilly. Here, just listen and watch this.
And a warning that the video is disturbing. It's surveillance video from 2016 obtained by CNN, and it shows rapper and business mogul Sean Diddy Combs violently assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel.
What happens in the video appears to match Ventura's allegations in a federal lawsuit, which was settled just 1 day after she filed it back in November. CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister has more.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs wearing only a towel, assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says, as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can then be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Ms. Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. The video hasn't been seen publicly before and comes on the heels of a series of civil lawsuits alleging Combs' involvement in sex trafficking and sexual abuse, allegations that Combs has repeatedly denied. Authorities searched Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami in March as part of an ongoing federal investigation carried out by a team that specializes in human trafficking crimes. In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in some of the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." Clearly very disturbing footage and violent actions that we are seeing coming from Diddy, who up until this point has denied many of these allegations from all of these lawsuits that he is facing. Aside from this lawsuit from CASSIE, which he settled back in November 2023, he is facing 5 separate lawsuits, and he has been fighting back through his lawyers. In fact, just last week, we reported on a motion that he filed to dismiss a lawsuit from a Jane Doe that claimed she was 17 years old, a minor at the time of her allegations. And just a few days before that, he filed a motion to dismiss a portion of an entirely different claim. It'll be interesting to see now how this may impact all that Diddy is facing, but we have yet to hear directly from him.
You are innocent until proven guilty. Yes, I do believe that. However, this is what I really had issue with during this process of now, because I'm going to tell you about what's currently happening, which you probably already know. But if you've been living under a rock, Andrea is here to tell you. So, yes, you are innocent until proven guilty. But I also want everyone out there, men and women, to also paint victims. People who allege things, who have allegations against someone else, victims who come out and say that someone has done something to them, they should be innocent until proven guilty too. And that I have a problem with. When you paint victims or someone who's telling their story as the bad person because you see this person with this money, or because this person is a black man, because that's what I kept hearing over. They trying to keep the black man down. They're trying to paint a picture. You can't paint a picture if you don't have the coloring utensils and you don't have the paper. So you giving me something to work with. If there is no paper, how can I paint? And I don't have a crayon or paint or water. If it's water paint, how can I paint a picture? He gave us water. He gave us paint. So let me calm down. Let me relax a little bit. So my point is if you don't want to give the alleged abuser smoke and you believe that they are innocent until proven guilty, then you give the same respect and grace to victims who claim that they have been abused or used in some way. They should be innocent until proven guilty, even though makes no sense really, because they're a victim and there have been no allegations against them. But I'll make it even just for those naysayers who try to say, well, because there are some women, and I don't like this either. Don't you ever lie. Do not lie. I don't believe in lying, period. Okay. But don't you ever come out and allege that someone has used you or abused you in some way. And that is not true. Because as we see today, that everything that's done in the dark, my loves, will come to the light. So now, wasn't that disgusting? When I saw that, I was literally disgusted. Getting back to diagnoses, because that's what I am. That's what I do. That is my profession. I do believe that's from my clinical impression of how he's acted. This is what it appears. Now, I must say this because I am licensed. Diddy has not sat down on my couch. He is not a client of mine, but in my clinical opinion, from me just watching this video and from hearing other allegations, I would diagnose him as, or I would say he appears to be, because I can't diagnose him because, he's not my client, but he appears to have narcissistic personality disorder. He is abusing that girl. He is kicking that girl like she is trash. He is treating her like he is superior to her, as if she's not even a human being, as if she is his possession, and not even a possession that he cherishes. He's treating her like garbage, and he should go to jail for that. He should go to jail for that. That was domestic abuse. I'm just saying, the criteria for narcissistic personality disorder is a sense of entitlement. Just look how entitled he felt. He appeared to be when he came running out his room in the hallway with a towel wrapped around him. Like you don't need, nobody needs to say anything. Like, having a towel wrapped around you, just your private parts, is a very vulnerable space to be in. However, right, so you make sure that there's no one else around. He's so entitled, feeling like this is his world, that he runs out of the room with the towel. And it wasn't even tight where he's holding it, because he's King Kong. Like he's pissed that one of his slaves is getting away. So he's going to run like massa, okay, on a plantation to go get one of his slaves. And my sister Cassie, I'm not calling you a slave. I'm talking about from his demonic perception, and it's my assumption of it. Then when he goes to get her, he beats her like you don't even, like, what are you doing leaving? Which was manipulative. Like, he's yelling at her like she did something wrong for leaving him. After, as y'all saw, she had already, when she described this incident, she said that he had punched her in the eye before she started to leave. So he knows that he punched her in the eye. Then he runs after her, treats her like trash, and tells her, no, you need to get back. Manipulative behavior. So a sense of entitlement, manipulative, a need to be admired. He sat down and he going to tell her, you sit here and you listen. You listen to what I have to say to you, like he's the king and then she's some peasant. Then he looks at her. Now, she is in a vulnerable state, just appearing to be a victim, okay? Appearing to be weak. He takes a vase and throws the vase at her with some other things. Like, you need to admire me. You don't get to leave. You need to admire me. A lack of empathy. That's a part of the criteria. He is not putting himself in her shoe. She is humiliated in front of him. Anytime you humiliated in front of your abuser, that's serious. That girl was on the ground. Her head was down. She had been punched in her eye. She was trying to get away. It makes, I could literally cry right now, but I'm not. She was humiliated. He had no empathy for her. And he was so arrogant. So arrogant. Yeah, like, this is what you need to do. And then makes her go back down to the hall and goes back in the room. This was disgusting. But this is an example of somebody just watching his behavior. And I will tell you this, since I, grew up in Jersey, I have some friends who are in the industry, and I had already heard some stories about how dark he was for years. I've already heard how abusive he was for years, but I couldn't call 911 because, I didn't actually see the stuff. But then, what this makes me think of? All of those other people who were around who never said anything. They see a woman getting beat, see a woman getting abused, see a woman getting used, not just her, many others, and never saying anything because you want your paycheck. They high on the narcissistic scale too, because all they're thinking about, and they're weak, thinking about themselves, but not being human enough to be supportive and caring for another human being. He should have been stopped a long time ago. My hope is that he's going to pay, and all of the people around who were watching and said nothing. If you watched and you said nothing, you should pay too, because you are a part of the act. The hotel that they were staying in, Cassie went to use that phone to call downstairs to tell them, and what Cassie said in her allegations, that, as we know, was settled with Combs when he paid, but yet and still he said that wasn't no admittance to him him being guilty. Lies, all lies. But she said in her paperwork, she said that she let the hotel know, that the hotel knew, and they were trying to help her get out of there. Why didn't they call the cops? Why didn't they call the cops? Help her get out of there. Why didn't they come up there with the cops and help her get out of there? Like, really? Why don't we know anything, any of this? And the allegations, there were some allegations that he paid the hotel $50,000 for the footage. So they take the check for the footage, and they never do anything to support her. We don't hear anything about it. They were complicit. They were complicit too. So they need to go down too. We need to know the name of the hotel. Well, I'm not calling y'all to do nothing because I don't need nobody suing me. But I ain't going there. I'm boycotting. Okay, so that's what I need to know. Okay, so then okay, so now we see the footage. Now we see that he's a liar. That he is a liar because he did not admit anything, okay, until this footage came out. He actually put the statement out saying that everybody was coming against him and that he had done nothing wrong and people were assassinating his character. Okay, that is not verbatim, but you get me. You get my drift. That's what he was saying. So then all of a sudden now, I believe this just happened. Okay, so we saw the tape from CNN on Friday. So this just happened, if not this morning, yesterday. This is his apology. Watch this apology.
His full apology posted on Instagram this morning.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
So, Veronica, what are we hearing from Cassie Ventura?
Well, Jessica, CNN was the first to hear from Cassie Ventura's team, and they said in a statement, quote, Combs' most recent statement is more about himself than the many people he has hurt. When Cassie and multiple other women came forward, he denied everything and suggested that his victims were looking for a payday. They go on to say that he was only compelled to apologize once repeated denials were proven false. Jessica.
He said he hit rock bottom. This is BS. He's such a liar. I can watch his body language and tell that he is lying. He takes full responsibility while he's shaking his head because he does not take full responsibility. He's speaking out because the video is out and everybody is talking about it and everybody is saying, brother, love, you canceled. Like, we see you. You know, all of the naysayers on the side of Diddy, who weren't even listening to the victim, Cassie, in this, are now have jumped his ship, okay? And now that they're on her side and on the side of the victim, as they should be, and he's seeing this, he comes out with a freaking apology that looks fake as hish. It's so fake. He takes full accountability. This is the thing that pisses me off more so than anything. The fact that he's a liar and he's lying, looking you in your face and lying, and then y'all, he used therapy. Talking about he done been to therapy. And so if you were in therapy, people, stop lying on therapy. People who've never been to therapy, who just started and went one time or a couple of times, and now you out here doing the same thing that you've been doing, but yet want to use the fact that you went to therapy, that you in therapy, like your behavior is so much better than it was, or like you so transformed. Like, stop lying, stop capping using therapy. Like, stop it, because your behavior is still dysfunctional. So don't blame your dysfunctional behavior on therapy, because when you get with a good therapist, because all therapists are not equal, when you get with a good therapist who can work with you, validate your concerns, and then help you and encourage you to do things that are better than what you used to do, to show you, to teach you, to educate you, to elevate you, and to support you, that's where change occurs. But you have to do the work. You going to a therapist and you telling them half truths about what's going on and just sitting there rattling off stuff, and then you leave up out of here acting the same way, thinking that what you do is what you do and you right, and what everybody else does is less important than what you want and what you do. There's a problem. So please don't blame that on therapy. He been to therapy and he been to drug treatment, because in her allegations she said that he was an alcohol, he was drunk. And then in Lil Rod's allegations, he spoke about all of this drug use. So now he's going to try to use that. That is that manipulation. That manipulation. Y'all remember that? That I was just telling you about, that a person with narcissistic personality disorder would do? Trying to manipulate you. Trying to act like a victim. Now he's a victim. A victim to what? Oh my gosh, it is so disgusting. And his arrogance is so disgusting. When he was kicking her and he was looking at her like you dare think you gonna leave me. Like, get back down the hall. Like, dare you, popping her in the head for having her own brain, for wanting to do what she wanted to do to keep herself safe. When I tell y'all, please don't believe the hype. Please, y'all, I need y'all to tell me, do y'all think that this apology is sincere? Do you really think that this apology is sincere? And where was the apology before we saw the video? Where was the apology when you denied the allegations? When you denied the allegations, when you're truly sorry for something and you are remorseful, then you apologize right away. It's when you feel it. So when all of this was alleged and you said it was a money grab, so where was the apology? Where was this apology then? Where was it at? When you was showing yourself on social media on your scooter riding around after the feds raided your house because you thought that they didn't have anything. That's my assumption, story I'm telling myself. Where was your apology then? When you blamed it on everybody else, where was your apology? All your apology comes now when we have proof. How convenient to apologize when we have proof. Let me breathe. So please, y'all, comment. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on victim shaming, when you shame and blame the victim instead of giving her the same grace and space that you would give someone who was accused as a perpetrator. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Give me your thoughts on that, on the victim shaming. Give me your thoughts on Diddy, Mr. Love, or whatever, Brother Love. Give me your thoughts on him. Give me your thoughts on him. Give me your thoughts on the hotel. Are you going to go to this hotel? Do you want to know? Do you think that they were complicit in this abusive act? Give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on this apology, the sincerity of this. Do you believe that this apology was sincere? Do you? Yes. Yeah. You know what? Give me your thoughts on my alleged diagnosis, just watching his behavior on Diddy's and sense of entitlement, manipulative behavior, the lack of empathy, arrogance. Yeah. Does this sound like he has some traits that are very high on the narcissistic spectrum? Give me your thoughts on that. Well, family, I'm keeping my eyes and my ears open to this case. But what I do know for sure is every single thing that's done in the dark will come to the light. I know that. For all energy that we put out in the universe, we will receive. It is supported by the notion of karma, but also by physics. Newton's law says, for every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. So my family, I am encouraging you guys to be good to people, to be good to people. And even if you haven't been in the past, today you can create that change. You can create that change. Listen, my loves, you got to do the work to make it work. You got to work it, my love, to make it work. You can change your behavior today. So if you want more good in your life, then you put more good out there. Okay? All right, family. So, I want to know what y'all's opinions are on this whole Diddy situation and that shisty, shady apology. Per my opinion. All right, so this is another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. And I can't wait to see you next week on the next episode. Family, we made 52 weeks. This is our anniversary, our 1 year anniversary. I love you. Long time. I'll see you next week. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233.